This is exercise 5 where we get to blend a couple of images together. So you have to take a portrait shot. In this case, I'm going to pretend that this is going to be my headshot. Large. Okay, I'll grab this one. All right, and the image that I'm going to blend with it. Okay. Same thing, going to make sure I get a nice large image. Yeah, that looks big. Right, now jump to Photoshop. So this document, new file, this time we're going to go print and we're going to find A4 and it should be 297 by 210 millimeters. The resolution, I'm going to put it down to 150. I'm going to start off with RGB, but in the end the file needs to be CMYK. So go create, get those couple of images. Open them up and I'll start with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and mask it, clear cut it. That looks pretty good. Drag it over onto the image. Good. Pop it about there. The glasses, do the same thing. Okay, looks good. I can close these images now. I don't need them. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to do with this one is I'll do the same thing. I'll try and select subject. I can see this one hasn't quite worked, so I use shift. Add onto it, option, just to take out that bit. And I'll mask it. Now I can use the transparency, so with the glasses, change it down a bit, and this just means that I can kind of maneuver things around. I'm trying to get the size just right, so I'm going to get it there so it's a bit bigger than the head, but goes over the ears. Okay, I'll try that, see how it goes. So I can pop it back up to 100%. Now what I'm going to do in this case is, because I've got a mask here, I'm going to control click on a Mac, or you can right click just out on this layer somewhere, and you can go to convert to smart object. The mask is still here, and you'll see if I double click on it, we'll open up a new folder that has that mask and everything there. I can make changes, and when I close it, save it, and the changes will appear here. So the same with this. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'll convert it to, where is it? Convert to smart object. So if I come up to this class, if I double click, and in here I do something like I go hue and saturation. Just very quickly, I'll do this, colorize. You can see now that I can close that, save it, and and the change has happened here. So I'll double click on the image and I can just switch that off. Close it, save it, and we're back to normal in here. Okay. So one of the things I can do is on this layer, out in the blank space here, if I double click, it brings up a thing called the layer options. This can be a really interesting mode for blending. If I pull the top slider, the top image, so the whiskey glass, is going to let the lightest areas disappear first. And if I move this, the darkest area, so these areas will disappear first. And if I hold down the option key and put on half of that triangle, it will split it and it will soften the transition. Now the bottom one, so the bottom image is the person. If I move the black, it means the hair, so the darkest areas will come through first. Now the lightest areas, so the kind of skin on the forehead and stuff, will start to come through. So you can get some nice controls. But in this case, I'm going to add some blank masks on. I'm going to start with the person and I'm going to go, okay, well the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mask out the head. Get a harder brush. Just painting with black. I'm just going behind that glass. Whoops. Looks like it's catching up. I can do a little thing so I can come down onto the glass. And I can clear up around the ears. So I can go over them. And then I can X, swap those colors around, and I can kind of paint this area back in. I could also do it with a bit of a softer brush. So whiskey glass, black is the foreground color, means that I can paint that ear in. Maybe this time I'll do it where I just soften the brush a little bit. Whoops. X, so it's white, and I'll paint back in that whiskey glass. So it's tight around the ears. Now I'm going to get the softest brush. And X, so it swaps around, so black's my foreground colour. I can wipe this area away. So nice and soft, but still harsh around the ears. And I think what I'll do is I'll try and grab it back here. I can do things like change the opacity and just click it so it kind of softly builds up that area. And again, just come in, maybe we'll make it even a little bit. Oh no, that's pretty harsh. So I'll just try and refine it. Oh, it's because I'm on 37, so it's nice and doing it really softly. So I'm just trying to pull it back up to that level in the glass. Get rid of that little highlight there. Same here, some of these bits where I've gone a bit far, X, just swap it around and paint them back in. So I'm starting to blend these things together. There's still a few bits we can go in, and there's blending modes. We can click and go through them. And get some really interesting effects with these blend modes. I'm just going to have it on normal. I quite like what's going on there. So you just use the mask to let one image come through and another not. So I can come back up to this bit here if I want. Probably have to mask both of these areas, but I can go, okay, brush, that one there, so X to block it. Obviously at some point the head is going to start to come through. That was kind of sitting behind the glass. So I'll keep all of this. And I can make it a bit, oh no, it's still quite hard there, so make the brush a bit smaller. For darting around this ice cube. And again, make the brush nice and small. Alright, so make this brush a bit bigger. And fill in some of these areas. So what I can do as well now is I can click on this mask around the glass, and I can jump down on the mask for the other one. We know that black blocks out. At the moment it's this area around the outside, so if I go select inverse, it gives me the opposite. And now I'm kind of using that mask to come around in here and tidy some of these areas up. If it gets a bit messy, I'll just switch that off, and then I can come back in. And again, start to tidy some of that stuff up. Okay, so we just get an image where the two items are blended, and what I need to do in the end is I'm going to go image mode, change it to CMYK. It must be CMYK for printing purposes. You can save a Photoshop file if you want. Go flatten, just makes it one layer, and then when I save it, I'm just going to save a copy, and I'm going to change it from Photoshop to JPEG. So it needs to be a JPEG. I'll call it blend. When you save it, it will come up with a menu. Make sure this is always pushed all the way to the right on maximum. Then just go OK.